Hello, everyone, and assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in to the Radio Woman podcast. I am your host, Sakina, and I am super duper excited to be doing this. Today, I have on the podcast Rukayat Adeosun, a fashion designer and business administrator par excellence. Rukaya is passionate about helping Muslim women own up to their identity and embrace their individuality, and that's why she birthed the clothing brand Pearls by Ray. She is a graduate of biochemistry from the University of Ilorin and has worked as a quality control analyst at one of the foremost pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria. She leaves no stone unturned, applying the experience from that job in her fashion business. One of her happiest moments is when she's designing clothes for modest women. She loves reading and generally being a creative. She has successfully carved her niche because of her fearlessness and relentless attitude towards work. She's a family person, so if she's not working, you will most likely find her with her family. Her children and husband believe she is a superhero. She believes she is indeed one, and I have to admit that I agree with their sentiments. Without any long talk, let's get into my conversation with this powerhouse. Assalamu alaikum, sis.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. In fact, all the jumps and everything just to record this.
Alhamdulillah. Finally, we are here. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for honoring my request. Yeah, so that we don't, take too much time. I'm very afraid maybe something else will come up again. So let's just, let's right into it. Yeah. So this
Okay.
All right. So the very first question I have for you, right? Both of us are in the fashion space, right? And I, for one, I know that my journey has not been easy. There has been some rough patches, there's been good times, and currently I'm even on a break, right? Because life threw me a curveball. But so I'm just curious to know, what's your journey? What has your journey? How did you get into business? Was it the plan from the get-go? And when you finally got into business, what was your motivation? What was the story like? And can you share some of the, highs, lows, and all that you've experienced so far? If I'm correct, you've been in business for how long now?
Let's say unofficially, 6 years.
6 years.
Officially 3 years.
3 years, yeah, that's okay. That's progress. It's progress, so that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so just share your journey with us, because I know quite a number of people are business owners, and that's why it was quite important for me to also bring on a business owner and to also hear your story, because I've watched you for let me say since the pandemic, like, closely, and I'm just amazed at how much you have grown with your business. So just trying to get a feel of
Alhamdulillah
behind the scenes. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. It's Alhamdulillah, it's not really a victory yet, because we are still on the run, we are still on the race. Mm-hmm. But this is what everyone will eventually see. But there were lots of back and forth. Mm-hmm. So from my uni days, I already knew that I really wanted to make dresses. Mm-hmm. I love fashion. I don't know if that is a bad thing, astaghfirullah, but I really love fashion. Yeah, and so I knew that I was going to do something about it, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. Okay. Somehow I felt like I really don't need to be a tailor. Mm-hmm. I can just employ an expert and just give instruction, mm-hmm. and just start the business. But it doesn't work that way. Mm. In this in our society, it doesn't really work that way. Number one, you become your tailor becomes your employer because they know you apparently have no knowledge about what you want to, about the whole business. Mm-hmm. Then number two, when they make mistakes, you would be unable to correct them or to even guide or lead them aright. Mm-hmm. So I changed the method. So I went for a course, mm-hmm. A fashion designing course, and I would say it's not really what I wanted, because as I grew, I came to realize that there were different aspects of to this fashion designing of the thing. So there I learned the freehand method of cutting. And that was around 2014. I was pregnant with my first child.
Wow.
So before I finished the school, I enrolled into another, and there I learned, that was where I learned the whole garment construction of a thing, with finishing with, oh no, that was where I got my energy from. Like, regardless of where you are, being a Nigerian, making dresses in Nigeria does not mean your dress should be tacky, does not mean your sewing should be tacky. So you can get it right, you can get it done perfectly well, just as they do it abroad over there. So I got that knowledge and a little of bridal from her. Still, that was all the knowledge that I had. I never knew how to run a business. And then I didn't know it was important for me to learn how to run a business. All we wanted to do was make designs, and we'll call it collections. So that was all we would do. I started with a tabletop machine, one white tabletop then. My husband got it for me. Yes, the electrical ones. Then I will sew them myself. I think I made one Aaidh wear like that, and people were like, it was okay. You know, those white machines used to have embroidery and all of that. It was a simple A-line gown, and I just used one of the embroidery, and it was nice. It was nice. Can you make one for me? So it started like that, from family and friends, even if some didn't pay, but we got going. I got tired of that one, then moved to one industrial machine. During those periods, anytime I really want to overlock, I will have to go to a nearby tailor and ask her to overlock for me at a fee. It was even the outside weaving, the outside overlock that will be used inside. Or I use French seam. It was not bad. I could not afford an overlock machine, so but I was trying to maneuver my ways and trying to do things that way. And alhamdulillah, it got to a stage I had to get a tailor. Like, I had to employ someone. It was a big deal then.
Yeah, and at that point you had your child, right? At that point,
yes, I had my child, and I think I was then. By the time I employed the second person, I think I was pregnant with another child.
Okay.
Yes, so I had an assistant and a main tailor. So the assistant will assist the tailor. She will help in packaging and let's say ironing sometimes and all of that. It was okay. Then I had to, one of the biggest challenges I had then was relocating.
Okay.
It's relocating from where I was to another society, another what would I say? Another environment entirely. It's really I fell into depression for a while, for months, and because I didn't know how to pick myself up. People had known me in a location and I was already gaining ground. Even though then all I did was, if you have fabric, bring it.
Okay,
if it is my design you like.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I was doing bespoke. I was even doing some mini bridals then. So I really didn't have a niche. I didn't have like, oh, this is where I am. I just kept doing everything all along. But I knew that it was modest dresses that I wanted. I wasn't going to do alter neck. I wasn't going to do, I never did any of that. So I just knew, I did one or two, but they were for Nicobites. So I already know they were going to wear it under their niqab. So so it was easier for me. Then the relocation came with its own advantage too. I eventually moved out of working from home to getting a store. Would I say a store or a shop? Whatever. Let's just call it something. It was quite big. So I got two tailors, and I was the third. I cut sometimes, I sew sometimes, and it kept going until I started attending courses online, and I eventually saw that there were things that were missing.
Yeah.
There were things that were missing that I only had the basic knowledge of designing. A lot of times you look at my dresses, even from about 4 or 5 years ago. I think, to be fair and to be honest, I think I had really good designs.
Yeah.
But we only made money enough for ourselves, for our salary, and to just keep going by. So once you pay the salaries, and you do 1 or 2 things, maybe buy fuel and all of that, and you struggle.
It was enough to sustain operations, but there was no
to sustain operations. And even would I say it was enough? It wasn't really enough, because at times when the gem broke down, it was my husband that was responsible for
fixing
the maintenance. Yes, the maintenance. So he would probably come up at they asked for 20,000 naira. Where do I get that from?
God bless.
And we were running business. So and we were running business. So
yeah,
we were not really sustaining ourselves, to be honest, but we were just floating and just trying to go by and all of that. Until I had eye-opening classes, and I figured out and realized that business designing is just a little percentage of all I need to know. If I really want to, I have a big goal. If I really want to get to that goal that I really want, when you want big things, or you want your clothes to go international, you don't know how to get there. What are the steps you would take to get there? Everybody really wants it, but no one is talking about how you will get there, and you don't even know. I just kept saying, maybe there will be a miracle one day. Yeah, someone will just come.
You're expecting a different result.
Well, miracle never happens like that, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was how I got to realize that there were mistakes, and the pandemic was of great advantage since everybody had to shut down. So it was a time to reevaluate myself, reevaluate my business, and get to know how to take that step. I think that period gave me opportunity to really think deep, made research, and figured out how to go about it, and who I need to meet to achieve what I really wanted. So that was alhamdulillah. I didn't know. I didn't know any of that to work. I never knew that any of whatever I did was going to work. I just wanted to fulfill and satisfy my conscience that, I really wanted to. I did my best.
There's a question I wanted to bring out from that, or an observation. So, talking about the pandemic, if you remember at the beginning, I said that, I've watched you closely since like the pandemic, and I'm noticing the great, shift and progress. And, you saying that the pandemic was a good time for you is, absolutely true, at least from what I see from the outside. Right? And even as a person, the pandemic was also a time for me to actually reevaluate, like, is this business actually something I want to, do for the long haul? It was a lot of reflection and thinking, because before then, everybody's trying to, like you, I was trying to, just keep the business afloat, we'll pay salary to, pay all the basic things. And after that, you're just like, what's left, right? And, it was just, okay, let's just keep this business afloat. But during that pandemic, it was also a time to reevaluate for me, right? So the next question I was going to ask is, so what changed? So, like I said, I've seen your progress, right? And it's very applaudable. Like, I'm cheering you on. I'm so proud, right? And seeing like someone in the fashion space as well that is doing so well. Like, I know that it's not easy for sure, because I've experienced, literally all what you have said, I've experienced it as well. So there were times that my husband had to chip in, just to try and keep, maybe something happens, like an unplanned expense, and I would have had him to chip in or something like that. but I know that it's not easy. Change doesn't just happen suddenly, right? And it's easy for people to just see that Pearls by Ray, you rebranded, you did this, you did that, and I just think like it was a sudden thing. But my question is, what happened? What changed? What was that? Was it like a build up? What exactly changed at that moment in time for you that you're just like, what? I need to try a different approach. What happened?
Okay. So basically, I think from 2019, I started realizing that I needed to change something about the business. If I really want to make more money, if the goals I really want, those goals I really want to achieve them. So I started attending classes, but none was doing it, to be honest.
Okay.
The major change came during the pandemic. And I had the opportunity to sit down, go through my financials, and I was like, what exactly am I doing?
Yeah. After all these years, what have you really?
What have I achieved? And to be honest, I wanted to quit. That is it. I wanted to leave the business and do something else.
Yeah.
But a question kept cropping up. Rukayat, right? You yourself know you were not doing business. You yourself know you were not doing business. You were not running it the way you were supposed to run it. So what do you expect? How do you expect to do more? How do you expect to gain more if you're not putting in your best? And that sank in. Like, it really hit me. I was just talking to myself. Said, okay, let me right my wrong. Let me do business the way I am supposed to do it. Let me get the knowledge that I am supposed to acquire and run this business like every other person is. I've seen a lot of fashion designers buying houses, buying cars. So it's not possible for you to do the same, but you're not doing it the right way. But then we all thought it's because those people were from rich background, or they were born with silver spoons, so they were able to reach their goals.
Yes. I even had the bias. As I feel like I had the bias, and I even still kind of have the bias of, if because you're in the modest space, like Muslims have the issue of, they don't want to pay a lot of money. Like, we like quality, but we don't want to pay.
I've been there. That was the perspective I had before, until I had a class with Muslim Master Guide when she told me that Anariri. Then Anariri was probably selling skirts for like 30,000. They were not even this cheap then.
And people were buying it.
And she said, do you know how many Nigerians are buying from her? I said, really? She said, forget about it. Nigerians are buying from her. I said, hey. Oh, they are buying.
You are gawking yourself.
I'm gawking myself. And I said, but she mentioned that because they liked her dresses and they're seeing value, so they buy. And to be honest, I've had some customers say, oh, I bought 10 dresses from Anariri. So because they love her dresses, they feel like her designs were nice and all of that. It was then I started changing my perspective, and I started leaving something out of my business. Like, I was doing bridal, doing everything together, and I had to figure out what exactly I want to do and which market I really want to work with, which niche I really want to work with before I delved into occasion wear. So, but basically, that mindset was changed, that people were not going to buy. That mindset had to change, that people are going to buy as long as you offer value. Value to them. People are going to buy. So you can imagine, from someone who wanted to quit a business, and all I wanted to do was just let me do my best, so that when they ask, why did you stop fashion week? I said, see, there's nothing I did not try, but it just didn't work. So that was what I did. Like, let me do this thing, so that when they ask me why I stopped my fashion business. I said, I tried everything that anybody could have tried, but it never worked. So that I can go to something. Yes, I was just tired. But as Allah would have it, probably that was what he was waiting for. Even where I was going to raise the money, I didn't know. I just knew that during the pandemic, I listed out to the tiniest material that we need to get to take a step further.
Yeah.
I listed them, the people I want to meet, the classes I want to attend. I made a lot of researches, even about clothes, about myself personally. So everything I did, it was the pandemic that gave room for that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it was then, that was after changing that mindset that as long as you offer value, people will buy. That was when I gradually started implementing some of the classes I did. And when somehow a money just came in, and I used that for my packaging, for rebranding, and all of that. Alongside, both internally and externally, we were working together. We were exchanging things from here and there, from there. So just to make things better, alhamdulillah. So it's just surprising that after a few months, it just turned out the way it did. And it took me a whole year to soak it in.
Yeah.
This year, I just started accepting that, maybe I've reached another stage this year, 2020, around 2021, I was just like,
it's like magic. Like, this is not real.
Yes, I moved from my place. I moved from the store to an apartment.
Okay.
And from 2 tailors that we were managing, little by little, we became 4, then 6. Alhamdulillah. So it was all like, is it real? Is it real? Is it real? Is it real? And all along, I was just doing things I wanted to do. I was just being me and doing things. It just happened that somehow Allah just put barakah in what I was doing. I felt like, so when everyone say, you are doing so well, I cannot take, I don't want to say, thank you, because I knew I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. I just feel like Allah just said, okay, let us put small barakah in what she did, and it turned out so big like that. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But I do think that you should actually, accept it and say thank you, because, like I said, change doesn't just happen overnight, and you cannot actually discount your journey up until the pandemic. So somehow, even though you were not running the business, I mean, this is my personal opinion, right? Even if you don't do business as a business, right? Your experiences so far are still, you wouldn't say it's not helping now, because all those things kind of prepared you. And now, even now, when you are operating your business, now that you know better, you know things that you shouldn't do again, based on your experience past. So you are practically, you put something forward for Allah to bless, really. You have changed your mindset, you have worked on yourself, you have, done the work, you have planned, you have learned, you have sought for knowledge, So it's not like you didn't do anything. You actually did something, right? You put in effort as well, and Allah blessed that effort. So, I mean, yes, we give all thanks to Allah for everything, because
Alhamdulillah.
That we do.
Have you ever experienced a situation whereby you are frightened by your own success?
Like, at least for me, not yet, but
like
I'm going to get there.
I mean, I'm being frightened by what I received. Because when people call me, and when people talk to me, mashallah, I love your dresses. Someone had once bought dresses from me, paid amount in full. And I was like, how did I get here? When did I get to this stage? It was a lump sum of money, and she paid outright. How did I get here? What did I do? People can get dresses anywhere, I feel so. So it's really frightening from wanting to quit to getting here.
Yeah.
From just taking a little bit of step to getting, I even took those steps with the mindset that even if no one is buying, I'll keep making these dresses.
Yeah.
So you not get tones, or like how can I quantify it? Like really, I received my statement of account earlier this month, and no, that wasn't me. I feel like I can't take credit for this.
This is not my account.
I cannot take credit for this, knowing fully well where I am coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who barely makes 300K in a month, 300, like before we really make 300,000. Hey, that 300,000 is even when things were really, really like you marketed enough, except during Ramadan period that people will buy. And you now see the manifestation of some things you even didn't think. So maybe it was just beyond me, and I felt like I should not take credit for this. This is solely God, though. Yeah. It's solely God that did this thing, though. It's not even. Is it the rebranding that I did? Have people not done rebranding? Are they still not doing?
Yeah, true.
So true. I took some steps, but I just felt like it wasn't the step that I took. It was just a barakah of Allah.
No, definitely. Again, you put something forward, and I also feel like there was a shift for you. So right from your mindset shift to knowledge shift, everything just came together nicely. And alhamdulillah, that's so exciting to hear. I feel so inspired, because even for me, during the pandemic as well, I was at the point where my niche is workwear, and at that point everybody was at home and everything. And at that point, I just employed 2 new tailors. I think I employed two new tailors in February. The pandemic happened in March, and
March.
What is going on? Like, what is happening? And at that point, I was just like, man, I don't think I'm going to, do this anymore. But somehow, we kept pushing, did face masks, did the tunics, did, after a while, stuff started picking up again. But it's still, I won't even lie, till now, whenever I think about my business, I'm just like, do I even really want to do this thing? Right? And even when last year I felt ill, I'm just like, maybe this is the sign for me to just, wrap everything up and call it quits. But for some reason, I just said, instead of, because when I put out the announcement that I was going on a break, the announcement I actually wanted to put up was, I'm shutting down totally, right? But for some reason, something just said, Seki, just take a break, take time out to really evaluate this thing. And like you, I knew that I wasn't putting in the best that, I could for this business. It's hard because, as someone that you're a mom, you're doing so many things at the same time, it's difficult. But when you know deep down in your mind that, you could do better, people that are doing business, the fashion business, and you can, like you said, there's the evidence that people can be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your head, it's just like, so do they have 2 heads, or what is different about it? And what I've noticed is most times the change has to be from us, like our own person. Because like I said, before we started this call, I read something about your business will grow to the extent that you are willing to grow as well. So if you are small-minded, definitely you're spreading out small-minded things. You'll be thinking people cannot patronize you, people will not do this. All those people, because they are low children, they are rich children, so they are rolling in big circles and all that. I still even remember like our conversations then with our small-mindedness.
Let me chip in something at this junction.
Yes.
Then when you see courses online on Instagram and they're saying, come and pay 5,000, let me teach you this. And you'll be like, what exactly does she want to teach that she's asking us for 5,000 naira? Yeah. I'm not going to pay. I already know, blah, blah, blah. And then it's upgraded to like 20,000. It's too much, 20,000. For what? Hey. Because that is the stage at which we were then.
Exactly.
And until we started paying for 5,000, oh, and this changed my life. Oh, let me see. What if I try 20 that of 20,000 naira cost? Oh, I got value. And now,
if
you ask me to pay 500,000 for it, because I won't even bet an eye. Even if I don't have the money.
As long as you get value.
As long as I will just struggle to bring out that money. So I don't see any amount too high to pay for knowledge anymore, because I know what you get from having knowledge. It will just open your eyes, and it just exactly what was I doing all along.
Before.
Exactly. So it is, and whatever knowledge, I mean, it is the knowledge that I acquire that will open your eyes to another perspective, that would change your perspective and your mindset. And it's in stages. So just like you mentioned that it is what did you say again? That it is where you are.
Yeah, your business will only grow to the extent of your knowledge. And even
exactly
business, I find it's the same for everything.
It's the same for everything.
Everything. So like our mindset, the way that we see ourselves, the way that we treat ourselves, it plays a big role in the way we show up, right? And that work is not a one-day work. You are still on a journey. I'm still on a journey. And the way I look at it is, even if I am a 3, there might be someone else that is a 2 out of 10, and we are just climbing that ladder gradually. So it's just trying to tell people that don't just give up totally. Sometimes it might just be one more step that you need to actually get that. But another thing is, it has to do with you also have to think deeply about it. Like you said, you took out time to actually think about this business, and it's something that you've been really passionate about for a long time. You sought yourself, you spoke to Allah, you prayed to Allah, some of those questions that kept coming to you, haunting you, that are you even sure you have done your best, that you are thinking of, so you have to reflect deeply before you can make a decision. And when even if you make a decision that you want to close down, at least you know that that was the best decision for you. But if there's any atom of doubt, then you know that perhaps you want to give this.
You didn't do what was right. You didn't do your best. You didn't put in your best foot.
Yes, because to be honest, in terms of like business and even any other thing, if something is not serving you anymore, I have no issues in saying drop it, because there's no point in being somewhere and you're just stuck and you're not really. But that's after you know that you have done, like you've really done your best. You've thought about it deeply and you've seen that, okay, this is not my next level, right? And that's totally fine. So that anybody listening to this doesn't think that maybe a business is not for them anymore, and they know it deep down in their hearts, but they're just still.
Like it's no longer.
Yeah. And they're just trying to like hang on or whatever. It's fine if you need to leave, but just make sure that you've thought about it, very well. You've sought counsel, you've sought other people's opinions. Because sometimes, we are just doing things without actually, trying to find out, although you have to be careful where you seek counsel from as well. But, I think that it's very valuable. At least when someone sees your business from the outside, they're just like, but you know that if you try this or you do this, or I know a business that is doing something similar to yours, and this is what they are doing, and I feel like it's working for them, just getting all those other perspectives might also, create a shift with what's going on with, how you shop for your business. But since I'm so happy. I'm inspired, because like I said, when I was putting up that post of I'm going on a break, in my head, I'm like, I'm done with this business. Like I'm totally done. I can't stress myself and everything. Even at this point, right, I know for sure that it might not be something. So like you, I'm not extremely passionate about fashion, to be honest. I came into fashion because there was a need I had, like from when I was younger. Always trying to get clothes that fits me. I was always very conscious about my body as a teenager, because like I was quite curvy and all that. So I've always been very conscious. So, just trying to make clothes that suits me without
you're kind of person.
Exactly. So that was how I came into fashion. But if you say, okay, maybe like fashionista or whatever, like I'm not necessarily that kind of, I'm more of like a functional kind of person. Like I want to make clothes that are functional, that kind of thing. So that is where I am coming from. So, people come into business for different reasons. So, that's why it's not good to also compare yourself to other people, because you never know what's going on with someone else. You don't know their motivations, you don't know, their history and all that. So, yeah, but I have taken some inspiration from you, inshallah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
inshallah.
yeah, have been during my time off, I've been praying to Allah, like, okay, do you want me to come back to this business? Do you want me? Because I've been doing other things, like expressing myself in other ways. This podcast is one of them, right? I've created like events, like learn and networking events. Those are some of the things I also like to do, right? But I've just been praying to Allah that, I've invested about 3 years of my life in this thing, right? Do you want me to? And I went in with the mindset of I'm okay to drop it if it's not.
Exactly. Now I had that mindset, I said, well, even if I have to start all over again, it is fine. Let me start all over again. Yeah. But let me take in one step. Just do something. Just one bit. And alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So yeah. So I'm now looking to resume again. And
inshallah, inshallah,
resume again,
inshallah,
a couple of months, and just hoping that we hit do something different, do things differently, and let's see how it goes. So like let me try my best as well and see how it works out. Yeah. So
last year our lives and make everything easier.
Ameen. Alrighty, sis. I think you've shared a lot with me, but I have a couple of more questions for you. So,
okay, please go ahead.
I think we already touched on it, saying that when you posted about, you wanted to right a wrong and everything. And I know that now with that story, the story was about, you hadn't put in your best in terms of like running the business, the way it should. Yes. And that is really key, because I also find that even as Muslims, Allah requires us to be excellent in everything that we do. So
yes.
To that level, to know that you're being truthful to yourself, to say that you see, like Rukayat, you haven't done your best. Don't just give up, because even Allah will ask you, like, did you do your best and you want? Because if you at that point had gone into something else and you carry that same attitude and mindset, chances
it will not work.
It won't work. Exactly. So it will just be like, so it will now be a case of what's going on? Is it only me? I've tried that. But
village people, you not think it's village people.
Exactly. Or maybe Allah doesn't love you or something, without realizing that the problem is yourself. Like fundamentally, you need to improve yourself. We need to always, seek knowledge. So with my ustaz this morning, we read a hadith about, Allah said that Allah will facilitate the path to Jannah for anyone who takes a step towards seeking knowledge. And that shows you just how important knowledge is to us as Muslims. Like we can't, and I see our other counterparts in like other faiths, the way they consume knowledge, and not just consume,
I'm telling you,
it, right? And that's why we see them doing big things, and I'm just like, that is the only what's going on.
Yes.
There's something wrong with us.
Yes.
And for us, we actually have Iqra, read. We have these things and we don't really appreciate it, right? So, to anybody listening, feeling like, oh, you are stuck, or I feel like, you have to seek knowledge. You need to, either in terms of like, oh, you're going online to learn a course, or you're going under the tutelage of a coach or something. Knowledge is very key. And one thing I always say is sometimes you might not see the effect immediately, but just know something is happening. A shift is happening gradually. If you keep at it, a shift is happening. Just repeating, trying to put the things you've done into action. It works, and one day it just hits, and you're like, "What's going on? Like what you experience?" And you're like, "What's going on? This is a dream. Like this is not me. This is not my business." So yeah. So just wanted to chip that in. So what would be your advice or tip for, like, from your experience, for anyone that is any business owner that is trying to, maybe is feeling stuck or is kind of confused, whether in the fashion space or because I mean, business is business fundamentally. It's just, the way the different industries work. But I think business owners in particular, we are more prone to like depression, episodes of unhappiness, right? You are just confused because it's a lot of pressure to run a business, to be honest. And, I know that I've also experienced my own share of like very bad mood swings. There were times like I was really, really down, like in terms of, okay, I'm running this business. So what would be your tip for a business owner to, even try and find joy, even when things feel like nothing is moving, nothing is happening, like you're just stuck. When you look at your colleagues, you're just like, see them, they are, whether they're doing business or they're doing 9 to 5, they seem to be progressing. What would be your advice or your tip, or how did you manage times when you were, feeling really down in your business?
The first thing I would say is seek help. Don't try to be a superhero or a superwoman. Even if you try to, you can't do everything on your own.
Yeah.
So seek help. Could be the kind of help you talk to a coach or a therapist or something. Seek help. Seek help. You can't do everything alone. So, for instance, if in my business, I know I'm not good at this, I'll seek help and employ someone who is good at that.
Yeah.
Then number 2, I would say, is to continually learn. Relearning, unlearning. You once mentioned it. You shouldn't stop learning. You should keep seeking for knowledge. From one phase to the other, from one stage to the other. And never be, what would I say? Move out of your comfort zone. Once you get comfortable at a particular stage, then it's time for you to get up. That's all. And I feel like if we go by that, without leaving Allah out, your prayers are really important. Everybody knows that. I think every other thing will fall into place. You just, no one knows everything. So along the line, we gather and garnered a lot of things. So that's how this is. That's how that is. So, and that will only happen if you keep learning. If you keep learning, and implementing, learning and implementing what you've learned. That's really
very key.
That is really key too. So not just gathered knowledge, what you've learned, what have you done about it? So
because
it moves mountains. It moves mountains. That's what I would say. Basically, that's what has worked for me so far.
Preach it, sis. Preach it. I mean, like, even me, like, you're giving me shots. You're giving me shots on this day, because for sure, if it comes to learning, I have no issues at all. Like, naturally, I'm a knowledge junkie, and it doesn't even have to be about business. It can be anything random. Like, I just like to learn different things, and it's not necessary that I want to make a business out of it or whatever. I just like to learn. But when it comes to implementing, that's where many people fall short. But
yes,
like what I said about, even just keep learning. There's a shift happening. And to be honest, even if I'm not yet where I want to be, I know that something has changed for me, right? I'm bolder in my approach to things. I'm just more open. I'm in that execution stage where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep trying. I'll keep executing, take one step. Because before I'll just be like, I don't see how I'm going to do this, or maybe I'm not even confident enough to do this thing. But now I'm in a stage where, you know what, even if it doesn't work out, I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to try, and just keep doing. So keep learning, right? And another thing I would say is, like you said, Allah is I don't know how people that don't believe in like a higher being or don't believe in God do it. But for me, even from a young age, even when I wasn't like religious or spiritual, I just knew that like God was like a big anchor for me. Even when I was feeling any type of way, I just knew that, God God, whenever I think about God and knowing that there's somebody bigger than me, right? It just gives me some kind of peace. And I feel like if as an entrepreneur you don't take your faith seriously, that's almost like a recipe for disaster. So running a business for me has even brought me, although initially it was challenging trying to balance everything, right? But just making that conscious effort to try and repair and continue nurturing your relationship with Allah is gold. Like I don't know how, because running a business, especially in Nigeria, is not easy. They're not to run somebody mad. So you need some.
How do I don't know. How do one even leave God out? How do one even leave God out? During my one of my coaching session with someone, the person mentioned that I was doing my rebranding and she was working with me with my positioning.
Yeah.
So she said, okay, we are giving the rebranding to social person. You to go and pray. I said, after paying money, I will not be praying for him. Why should I pray for him after paying such ridiculous amount of money? Said, because everything lies with Allah.
Yeah.
Pray that this person gets exactly what you want in mind, that will profit you, that will make, the way she analyzed everything, I feel like anytime I give anybody any job, do this for me. Oh Allah, please let this person do it the way I would like it. Let this person get inspiration to satisfy me.
No.
And it works somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole lot of stress having to tell a vendor, please go back, go and do it again.
Yeah.
Bring it again. Then I'm not still okay. There's something off with it. And it's just practically feels like you're even the one doing the work yourself.
Yeah.
So even to the tiniest thing, you still have to pray to Allah that, oh God, please let this person get it right. So when I'm doing my photo shoot, don't let the camera to fall down, or don't let the memory to go off, or don't let it get corrupt. So
yes, because it might seem like they are praying for the silliest things, but you will be surprised that
if it happens, there's nothing you can do about it. It has happened. You just have to forge ahead. Exactly. So because you don't want such heartache or heart attack, heartbreak, so you just have to pray about it. So even praying for that little things, I don't know how you are going, even the strategy you come up with, who is going to give it to you? How do you,
where does the inspiration come from?
Where does the inspiration come from? It's not even yours to begin with. The head you are using to think is not even yours to begin with. So there's no way you can even solve that puzzle on your own, except with the mercy of Allah.
No. Yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely correct. Then another thing that I would say from my experience, when I was feeling really bad, is I tried to just look at what are the good things that have happened to me in the course of this business. What are the things that I can be grateful for? And I just try to that imbibe that gratitude, because it also works a lot, because sometimes it just feels like there's no end to this. Like you cannot see any path, you can't see any light above. Just being grateful helps. Then another thing that helps me is the people around me, being careful about the kind of people that you talk to, but also getting reassurance from your loved ones that that okay, they really care about you, and they are only rooting for you. Fine, they might want to keep you safe in your comfort zone, but at least sometimes just hearing some words of encouragement from them also helps as well. So I think in addition to all that you said, I would just like to chip that in as well. Yeah, so we're rounding up. But the last question I wanted to ask is, okay, maybe not last, yes. The last question is, what can we look out for from you as you yourself, like personally as a brand, and Pearls by Ray this year and maybe beyond, right? So, I mean, maybe not beyond, because you can't really, just like we said, one step at a time. Let's take our own advice, right? So one step at a time. But yes, in 2022, what do we expect from you?
What should be expected from me? Yeah. Do I really have anything really spectacular? Because
I
last
thought
year,
you put up like coaching. That's something.
yes, probably that's just one of the things I really wanted to do for people, for business owners, because just look at life. I now cringe when I see people doing the same thing that I did in the past. So no, I don't really want to see it again. I said, oh, please, you guys, let's move forward. You know, the same, when I see people making the same mistake I made in the past, I don't know, a lot of people might have felt the same way. And maybe that was why Muslim Master Guide, Oikon, was really putting a lot of courses out there that, no, you guys should not do the same thing. There are different niches that are untapped, different markets that are untapped. So why are you all gathered and doing the same thing? Like, it really pissed her off like then. So I'm in a shoe, probably in a shoe now. Yes, and I'm thinking a whole direction, and that's why I put up that coaching class. That okay, if you need help with your business, of course, I'm willing to devote my time at a fee.
Of course.
So I intend to put more lessons out there. We really need to. The modest fashion business, we have a lot of people in that niche. Oh, I'm doing modest dresses. But the question is, are you doing it the right way? Let's leave Islam. Let's leave Allah out of it. Are you happy the way you're doing it? Are you okay with the way you're doing it? And if your answer is no, then maybe sharing my experience and what the knowledge I've gathered over time would help you. It's never one day journey. It's not a day journey. So, and if you feel like I don't want to stress myself, because I did that for about 2 to 3 years, gathering knowledge. And the most difficult thing was that we really didn't have coaches in fashion businesses. A lot of them are just fashion designer, and they will just train you in tailoring. That's the end. No one was talking about how to run the business, the business of fashion, the business aspect of it. They were just teaching people how to tailor. And that's why we have a lot of tailors out there with no clear path, no clear vision on how to run the business. And there are a lot of untapped markets out there. So I feel like, let me help.
Tell us that there's a lot to be done, and we are not scratching the surface yet. Please let us know. So tell me more about the program. So is it open all year round, or is it an online course? Is it a one-on-one? What is it?
Yes, it's an online course and it's a one-on-one. I feel like I'm going to tailor the class to each individual businesses, the business owner. So in fashion business anyway. So whatever you do, let's talk about it. How is your business going? Sometimes maybe that you even know what to do, but you're not sure if what you are going to do is what you want to do is the right thing to do. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you have, the plans in your head. You've written out a strategy, but maybe you're afraid to invest. Maybe
yes,
it's going to take a lot of maybe funds or something.
And resources to fill. Yeah. So you probably need someone to walk you down that path, to hold your hands.
Exactly.
Yes, to hold your hands, hold you accountable, and you need clarity on your business. You just don't know what you do. I just buy 5 and 10 yards of fabric. Let me just make clothes and let me just sell. You don't even know what you're doing. So you need help in gaining clarity to your business, your fashion business. So we'll talk one-on-one. I decided to do one-on-one because I really want to transform lives. I really want to transform businesses. I just don't want you to take a class and say, oh yeah, go. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's take those steps together. And I'm hoping to look at transforming businesses and becoming better, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So it's an online class open to fashion brands, fashion businesses.
Okay.
Yes, or anyone who wants to start up any fashion. Oh, I want to go into fashion. How do I go about it? Oh yeah, let's talk.
All right, so everybody, you have heard that, there's someone, Sister Rukayat is fired up and pumped to, help. Even me said, maybe I'll still come and collect, more ginger from you. So you come and ginger me. You ginger me more. But yeah, I'm so happy about that. Even sometime last year, I did that but I just had a couple of people that I was mentoring to the best of my knowledge on what I knew, right? And what has worked for me at that point. So I did that for a couple of people. And you sometimes you're amazed at how much or how a little knowledge that you share can actually help so much. And I've noticed that
so many people. Yeah.
Sometimes
that's it.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like as human beings we underestimate what we know or our knowledge, not knowing that you think that what you know, every other person knows it.
Exactly. But there are a lot of people below you. There are a lot of people who are looking for exactly what is right on your head now.
Exactly. So Barakallah Fikum says, I wish you all the best in that. I'll be coming to meet you, don't worry.
You're always welcome.
We'll continue our chat after this.
I already flunked the door open for you.
Mashallah. Hey. All right, please. Thank you so much. And the very last question that I have, I was telling you that it's not the very, very last one. I promise this time around.
Okay.
This is the Radiant Woman podcast, and the whole idea is we are trying to build a community of women that are joyous, that are living authentically, regardless of what life throws at us. We know that life will not always be smooth, and somebody might be out there, just going through a tough time, or they need some clarity, just what does living radiantly mean to you? Living a radiant life, what does it mean? What does it mean to live intentionally for you? What does it mean for you?
Okay, so I would say, I mentioned that at a particular time I was depressed because of I felt like I had to start all over again and all of that. So a book helped me. That was and I still go over that book. Don't be sad.
Subhanallah, that is my current read.
Don't be sad. And this book, you can be the happiest woman on earth.
Okay.
You see, they were just it just gathered verses of the Quran that assured of rays of hope from Allah, assured us of what would I say, of having faith in Allah, putting everything in the hands of Allah, and just trusting Allah with our affairs. And basically all the time, that just those verses of the Quran does it for me. And I feel like if you really want to enjoy life, don't think too much about things and just trust Allah. It's so difficult to trust Allah.
Difficult. So me, I know that it's difficult.
It's easier said than done. But knowing fully well that what can I do on my own? Nothing. And whether I like it or not, I just have to trust Allah. If He brings the good, He knows why. If He brings the other way around, He knows why. So I believe living radiantly, you simply have to be happy for yourself. Be happy because of the fact that you even have Allah. Lately, I got to I got to realize that I do not appreciate Allah enough for the breath of life, even being alive alone. Hey, God, it's a whole lot. I have a lot of people who are dead, my mates who are older, who are younger. And lately, I come to appreciate the breath of life. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I really woke up to life. I'm not in the grave. I just want to sit down and say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. It's not rosy anywhere. It's not all rosy anywhere. But coming to appreciate life itself, being alive itself, it will take you through a bad day. It will take you through a bad day. Because once they dig that 6 feet for you, it is all over.
It's over.
All over.
It's all over.
It is all over. So being alive, it's a special gift on its own. And it really makes me happy these days that I'm even alive. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Whatever the struggle is, we'll get by it, inshallah.
Yeah. Tomorrow will come.
And tomorrow will come, where they say, where there is life, there is hope. Underestimated adage. Because where there is truly life, life can be transformed. Your story can change around. So just put your affairs into the hands of the one you know has the control over everything, and that is Allah. And waking up daily should be a thing of joy, even if everything is wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree so much. In fact, thank you so much, sis. That's so much wisdom. And I hope that we are able to actually, should I say, embody it? Because it's not easy, like you said. It's easy to just say trust in Allah. But when all those challenges come, you find yourself doing the absolute opposite, right? May Allah continue to grant us patience. May continue to grant us the heart full of gratitude, right? And
Amen.
I just pray he just blesses us with the best of this life and the hereafter. Jazakumullah khairan, sis. I've left this conversation inspired. I've left this conversation with a renewed trust in my Rob. Seriously, like, when sometimes, and that's the whole joy of hearing people's experiences, because sometimes, it just makes you, that belief and faith that you have, it strengthens it, from time, and you never know when you need it. So thank you so much for sharing, sis. I'm so happy that you're finally able to do this, and I know that a lot of people are going to benefit from it. I'm going to share.
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we finally got to do this. You're not someone I would say no to, so.
I'm going to find a way for you to say yes.
This week has been so stressful, and all I want to do is just lay in bed. But then I felt like, let me just get it done. I'm not going to procrastinate. That was you said, should we postpone? We are not postponing. Let's just get it done with.
May Allah honor you. Thank you. Thank you. So share those 2 resources. Don't be sad. And is it How to Be the Happiest Woman on Earth or The Happiest Woman on Earth?
You can be the happiest woman on earth.
I haven't read that, but I'm currently reading Don't Be Sad, and in my head I'm like, why haven't I read this book since forever? Like, it was my mother that gave me. She wrote me a copy, and I don't really read.
I don't really read a lot of books, so I don't read, like, I'm not, the books that I read are mostly business, fashion books. Yeah. But those 2 books, they're always on repeat.
Yeah.
So somehow they just calm your nerves. They just bring hope to you.
Yeah. That Don't Be Sad book is gold. Like, whenever I read it, I was telling my husband that I'm going to return my mother-in-law's copy to her, and I'm going to go and get my own copy.
You buy your book. That's the same thing that happened to me. It was a gift from, my dad was one who even bought them. And I borrowed from his library.
Wow.
But I've not returned them.
Yeah. So for me, that book is like the ideal Muslim as well. Those books are like reference books for me.
So yes, those 3. I read the ideal Muslim too. Yeah.
Mashallah.
Yes, yes.
So anyone,
Inshallah.
I'm going to put this in the what they call description as well. They are very powerful books, and I think that it's very important that we read it, even though we can't read everything, but at least going back to it once in a while. Now, anybody that says they are worried or anything, I'll just take it. There's one snapshot of the book. I just share it. I just be sharing it.
Honestly, it addresses all that needs to be addressed.
Seriously. You have said it. You have said the truth about it. You said the truth about it. Yeah. So let's call it a day here.
Thank you.
I enjoyed my conversation with you.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm rooting for you. May Allah put his barak.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You're looking forward to your comeback.
Inshallah. May Allah make it. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Thank you.